Hi guys, thank you all for coming back. This is episode 2, and the reason I said thank you is I realized in episode 1 I had a massive issue with white noise and feedback from my mic. And if you guys came back, thank you. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right in. In this second episode, we're going to learn what are element selectors and how do we find them and how do we interact with them. To recap, we learned what an iWebDriver is. Essentially, that is your browser. We called it Chrome driver because we're using a Chrome driver. We got the Chrome driver to navigate to the URL, and we had a thread sleep which would pause the program so that we could just see the web page, and then we would quit the driver to make sure that it closed the program. Okay, just to start from scratch, let's just go ahead and erase all that, and let's do it ourselves. It's good practice to not just follow along, but to actually do things multiple times. So we're going to do Chrome driver. We're going to call it C driver equals new Chrome driver, because let's make a brand new instance of that object. And let's make it go somewhere. C driver dot navigate dot parentheses dot go to URL. Now I don't have a URL, but let's go to let's pick https www.google.com. End it with a /. Okay, so let's just pull up Google right quick. If you do not know, the reason I chose Chrome is that Chrome has built-in developer tools that allows you to inspect or see the HTML that is being displayed in front of you. This is a text box, an input field. That's all Google is, right? You put in the text, hit enter, it brings back search results. We're going to right click inside using Chrome, inspect. It will bring back this. This is the HTML correlated with this element. It has a name. The name is Q. We're just going to minimize this for a moment. Okay, let's do an iWeb element. See, we have an iWeb driver, which means that is my browser. Sorry, that is a driver which opens a browser. And we're going to do iWeb element. We're going to call it element equals. And we're going to see, we're going to set it equal to our driver, which is C driver dot find element parentheses by uppercase by dot name parentheses, and we're going to go in here and put some quotes. Now inside this quote, which indicates a string, we're going to put the name of the element we want to find on the page. And we know it's page because we're saying, hey, in this driver, remember that's just our browser, and at the moment, because it's sequential, we made a driver, we opened up a browser, we went to this page, we went to this location, and on this location, we want to find an element by its name. And we're going to store it in this variable called element. Now let's pull it back up. Just to be clear, we're going to go right here and inspect. Boom. That's its name. Its name is Q. But let's say we wanted to do this image. Inspect. You see, it doesn't have a name. It has an ID, it has a title, but it doesn't have a name. And we'll talk about that later. Go back to the text though. Inspect. Its name is most definitely Q. And you see, as you run along in the inspect, it highlights other elements on the page. But we're just looking at this one. So it's Q. So we're going to go right here, and we're going to put Q. We're going to go down. What we're going to do is we're going to do a conditional statement, an if, to be precise. We're going to do element dot displayed. Now it's going to check if the element is displayed. Now if it is, let's do console dot write line. Awesome, the element was found. And if you remember at the beginning, I told you to get rid of everything. So you won't have your systems, but you can either wait for the bubble again to have it there, or you can click within it, hit control, period, comes up, hit enter. Done. It already imports using .system. And let's do an else statement. Else print out console dot write line. Oh no, element not found, not found, frowny face. And remember, if we do not close our browser, it will stay up the entire time, or our driver. So we're going to close our driver. We're going to say C driver dot quit. Now you might be thinking, don't we need a sleep to make sure it happens? You'll see. Hit Control F5. Now once this loads, you're going to see our command prompt come up. It is going to open up the driver I specified, which is Chrome. Boom. Now it went by really quick, but look, we have our message loading in our console. Awesome, the element was found. So using this element name, it found, I have this still up, it found this name. Now that we found it, we can manipulate it. We can make sure it's there. We can make sure that the element has loaded on the page. And that'll be important later on. But let's say that we typoed this or fat fingered it and we put QQ. Let's see what happens now. Control F5. Boom. Now, we're going to talk about this later when we go into error handling. But it says Automation Tools has stopped working. Let's put this one a little over. Let's bring this up. Now, if you notice, it doesn't say anywhere on here our message, which says, oh no, element was not found. It's not here. Instead, Selenium has its own way of handling these errors, and it calls it a no such element exception. And it says no such element, unable to locate element by the method of trying to find it by the name, add its selector using this string. It's not on the page. Now the question is, why didn't it load our message? Well, we'll talk about that in a later video. But at the moment, we did see that it did not work. So in this video, we learned we reinforced making a driver or a browser, navigating to any page, specifically Google in this example. We made an element, iWeb element, an internet web element, right? We captured, we found an element by its name, Q, not QQ, that wouldn't have worked. And we stored it in the variable element. We made a conditional statement that said, hey, if this is displayed, and displayed is a boolean, as you can see, it says bool, iWeb element. If it's true, awesome, the element was found. Else break. Now it broke without reaching this point. We'll talk about that later. And then we closed our driver. Well, that's it for now, guys. This was just using the name element selector. In the next couple of videos, we will cover the ID, the class name, the CSS, and the XPath, and also dive deeper into error handling. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time.